Thanks for coming by. I'm sure you're very anxious to get out on track. It's taken a lot of effort to get to F1. Congratulations. But the real work starts now. This is...
Claire, motorsports journalist. Nice to meet you. You'll be seeing quite a lot of me throughout the season. So, you had a pretty impressive junior career. How are you feeling about your move into F1? Do you think you have what it takes?
Let's save the questions for a proper interview, shall we? I'm sure you'll have a lot more to talk about once there's been some action on track. I think we could fit you in after FP1 if you're free.
That works for me. I'll grab you the second you finish on the track.
Remember, the relationship you have with the team can be affected by what you say to the media. So be careful. Anyway, it's time to catch up with Carl. He's waiting for you in the data center. Good luck out there today.
Welcome to the data center. Here, we've got access to all kinds of information, including car telemetry, weather, lap times, tyre wear, the list goes on. Plus, we've got a direct link back to the factory, so we're in constant communication with the team there. We need you to regularly feedback about areas of the car that are lacking and help us direct our resources in the most productive way. More effort here equals a quicker car, so it's well worth the effort. Good luck this season. Oh, and make us all look good, okay?
Welcome to your new team. McLaren are one of the most successful teams in the sport, and they've reinvented themselves over the past few years. They demand excellence from all areas of their organization, and they'll expect you to integrate yourself and get up to speed from the first race.
We're about to join the action in what is sure to be an interesting practice session here in Melbourne. It's not long until we get the session underway and we'll have some cars appearing out on the track. I'm here with Anthony Davidson once again. Nice to see you, Ant, and I wanted to ask you about how you go about improving the car over the course of a practice session. How much would you say is already known from the pre-race simulations, and how much do you have to do, how much do you have to work on with a real car on a real circuit?
Well, that's a good question, Crofty, and I suppose the simple answer is that there's no such thing as too much information. As you say, the bigger teams have very complex simulations, vast numbers of clever people crunching the numbers back at base, but what they can't tell you is stuff like how the track condition's going to be, or what the temperature's going to be doing over the course of the day, and how all of that's going to be interacting with the tyre. There are so many millions of tiny variables involved in getting these cars around a racetrack quickly, but the computer can't tailor the car to a driver's specific balance requirements. At some point, you still need to put a human being in there and have them feel it through the seat of their pants. And that's why we end up with different drivers having different setups. So what I'm trying to say is, Crofty, nothing beats on-track testing. In the unforgiving world of Formula One, free practice sessions are a vital part of any Grand Prix weekend. During your F1 career, you'll be able to utilise these sessions to complete practice programmes which will help you learn the track and earn you points that can be invested in developing your car. You'll also be able to adjust your car setup over the course of these sessions to try and find those extra fractions of a second.
Morning, it's Jeff here. Let me know you're okay.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top three, who are Vettel, Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. Thank you for...
Well, things didn't really go your way today. Tell us what happened.
You didn't make it to the end. Was it the car, or did you just push it a bit too far?
It's been a lot of hard work, but here you are making your debut in Formula One. You must be thrilled. So how are you finding things at the team? Are you settling in? What are you expecting out of this season? Are you just aiming to find your feet in Formula One, or do you see something more? Appreciate your time.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are Vettel, Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton. New drivers, new cars and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21 race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit, 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year with the addition of new safety features, the return of France and Germany in an expanded 21 race calendar and more tyre compounds than ever before. And of course, we have some big car manufacturers back in the sport too, with Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin returning as title sponsors for Sauber and Red Bull respectively. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2018 Formula One season is Anthony Davidson. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here. I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 4th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season, it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the relative performance of McLaren and Toro Rosso, who have exchanged power unit suppliers this year. And given the additional restrictions on engine components, they need to be strong in terms of both performance and reliability.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Hamilton, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen and Bottas, Hülkenberg, Alonso.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck. Clutch in. Hold until lights out. Feed in the throttle. Let's build the revs. Watch out, we're green. Now let's build on it. Go now. Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres. Yellow flag. Virtual safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta. There's a puncture in front left tyre has a puncture. Be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Check your... Lock-on is stopping now. Go, go. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. There are plus 1 lap of extra fuel. Fuel target plus 1. Pick up rubber and bring it home.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Ferme. What a fantastic race it was. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
So here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Sebastian Vettel takes the lead of the Drivers' Championship. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I'll probably go for Pierre Gasly. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in amongst the pack, but it's the
Well, things didn't really go your way today. Tell us what happened.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip? It must be gutting to miss out on a podium due to penalties. Do you think it was the right call by the officials?
Great, well that's everything.